where we are with regard to expenditure of funds received establishments related to the April 2018 sales tax election, and the $6.8-ish million in bonds that we issued for projects. We are close to being complete with almost all of those projects. The remaining projects really are the completion of streetscape, the out year phases of that, completion of that project, and the Main Street Trail. Main Street Trail is currently under design, and we are in the process of working with the state on finalization of award of grant for about $220,000 to $240,000 worth of amenities for the trail. And we are anticipating a public meeting to get feedback on some of those amenities and just that public process. December 3rd from 4 to 6 p.m. here in this meeting room prior to the board meeting that evening so that we can obtain public input on that project. As we've reviewed that project and talked about the streetscape project and phasing there, staff and our engineers, and we do have Aaron Brissett and Ms. Wheelhouse, from HDR present tonight to answer any questions that we might have. We have looked at the phasing of the streetscape completion in a little different ways. We looked at it from a budget perspective. We looked at phasing to complete the North Bridge portion of the project in the nearer term than the eastern portion of Main Street. And the reason that we did that was basically a cash flow perspective. The eastern portion of Main Street is a more expensive project. We can look at some different options in looking at that. One of the things that we talked about as staff with our engineers is as you start looking at the extension of the streetscape into a more residential area, there's some natural breaking points for where we would reduce the scope of the streetscape project. But in order to really complete the linkage from 169 out to the lake, it makes sense to look at completing the eastern portion of the Main Street piece of the streetscape before we get the northern piece, because we'll be completing the Main Street Trail within the next 12 months, and so we thought having this gap of an area that wasn't completed kind of caused some concern, and we also want to just get construction done and out of the way in that area. But as I mentioned, what we do is included in the CIP as this plan is outlined in our memo. It was developed, as I indicated, on a cash flow basis. And it includes $255,000 in 2020 for engineering and completion of that North Bridge piece. And then the east commercial portion, we have funds totaling $775,000 in 2022. And that really would take the streetscape to that 775 initially anticipated. The streetscape project was initially anticipated to go all the way to Liberty. And that 775 was an estimate for that at that point in time. We also include $270,000 in 2024 for a gateway sign. And we've had some discussions off and on about what that would look like. And I think maybe even some questions more recently is that something that would be necessary given the way that the streetscape has created kind of its own sense. So I think there are several questions to talk about here. As we go through discussion, we received information based on our request from HDR, some different options for addressing the eastern phase of the streetscape project, and based on discussions that we've had with HDR, they put together some renderings as well that we didn't provide to you all in advance. But based on estimates for that completion of segment 1, which is the portion of Main Street from Commercial to Smith, in completing that in the same manner that streetscape from when it's there in downtown is option B. So it would include lighting, it would include sidewalk, it would include brickwork, it would include asphalt milling overlay and curb and gutter work. As I indicated, that is option B in their list of information, and it's similar to Main Street as it currently exists to Mill. We could look at potentially reducing that in scope. We've identified from commercial to Smith as kind of a continuation of our business area. It takes us right to the block where Heritage Park is, and really kind of includes the distillery is at the end of that area and kind of really does mark the end of that commercial area. Then from Smith to Liberty, we have identified option D, which includes an 8-foot wide trail on the north side of the road only. And the estimate that was provided, and Aaron and I talked, I also have, and we can kind of scroll through this as necessary, I have pictures of the area from commercial to Liberty, just to help us kind of visualize what we have. But the option D includes an 8-foot wide trail on the north side only, doesn't address the south side, but would do full curb and gutter work and asphalt mill and overlay. As I walk that area again today, and as Aaron and I talked, I think we might be able to look at maybe estimating some reductions there for the curb. The curbs are in pretty decent shape along the way. They're not new, but they're in good shape. So I think that could be an area we can take a look at. So it might be just as easy to have Aaron show us the renderings that we have, or if there are questions you all have about what we looked at. As indicated, we do have a gap. Capital project revenues total about $6.4 million, excuse me. Expenditures today total $4.4 million. The estimate for the Main Street Trail and those recommendations that I mentioned a moment ago, about $1.3 million. So we have total expenditures of $6.7 million, which creates a near-term funding gap of $275,000. That is an issue. We do have some areas we could look at and create a loan for a short period of time to the capital sales tax to be paid back. We could look at some reductions to the scope of the project and get back on that, kind of look for direction, comments, and direction from the board. It doesn't even make sense to look at streetscape on the east side now, or if we continue as budgeted. So we wanted to outline a number of those options. I might have Aaron go ahead and go through the recommendations we've got, unless there are questions in advance of that.
John, do you have things you have to leave early? Are you good? Good with it or not good with it?
I mean, I like to do as cheap as possible, but I mean,
Does Main Street make more sense than Bridge Street?
yes, that definitely is my preference.
Okay. John and I believe 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, it's great to be here. It's good to see you, Aaron, and board. This is just with a quick rendering we did. The first block from commercial to Smith. You can see we've got the brick accents in there, full lighting, and then it would have a 5-foot sidewalk, and it would continue to share those in the road for then when you got to Smith, it's hard to see, but you know, we're showing an 8-foot trail starting right here and continuing on to this whole way when we get to Liberty. And that's what that's represented with option D on segment 2.
So I see you've got the improvements to the entryway to Heritage's main parking lot. What about the other new parking lot? Is that be part of what's, yeah, that's.
That would be part of the streetscape, or excuse me, the trail project.
Yeah, so that's, yeah. So we go to the short of this.
Well, basically, so the trail project would begin then here with, this is incorrect, right?
Yep.
With access to the playground area,
Yeah.
and then across the street, and then the trail line.
All right.
And in the estimate we provided, provided, it does have the asphalt, an overlay, pavement markings, curb and gutter, and drive aprons between curb and gutter and the sidewalk. Does not have, on that second segment, doesn't have the decorative street lighting, doesn't have any brick. But it's more of a,
So with the whole top part, so not under your park without any lighting, right? It ends up,
It ended Smith.
it's on that action.
And Aaron, at one point in time, and I'm sorry, this might be something even for discussion or consideration, this includes bump outs at Smith and Marshall, or Smith and Main, correct?
Yes, it does include.
That's something that we could.
It does include lights there.
can we look at, if we're not gonna do curb, if that's feasible and not do curb, can we look at what it would take to extend lighting on at least the park side of the,
All the way to the driveway entrance.
yeah.
Yeah, we're probably talking another 6 to 8 lights at the moment.
Right. It's gonna get pretty dark, I mean, if we're gonna put a new playground and parking lot to basketball court, and we want people to kind of like walk down, we want to make a part of downtown, and not the whole streetscape experience, at least a couple lights. And that was kind of, like you said.
Do you want the flags, like, see what's going on?
Yeah.
What?
The flags also.
The flags, like, see what's going on downtown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So would you put like the lights in where the brick accents would be?
Yes,
Is that where they would be?
yes, that first block would have, it would be just like, right up on 69, those first couple blocks.
It looks like eight lights, like,
8 plus 4 at the intersections, so 12.
So my next question would be, if we're going to add more lights on down to the entrance to Heritage Park, how much would this current draft look like if financially, if we took the bump outs out? Would that offset the lights, or how much? I'm just thinking if we just took that set of bump outs out, do we need them that far out? I'm thinking to go straight at
To
that
be
point.
well, and like when we do, I know we discussed this with CFS, but yeah, could we do an elevated crosswalk or something else that kind of,
Like that speed table type thing.
yeah, that's easy to plow, and still tells people, hey, slow down here.
Right.
Yeah, there would be savings there, and like I said, if we scale back the curve, we feel like for a good portion of that's in good shape, we don't need to remove that way to offset to the
I know for the, having the school right there, and they're using Heritage Park now more. I mean, the crosswalk's gonna help, I don't know that the bump out on one street, which it doesn't look like we're really trimming that street down anyway.
Not on the side streets, there's some there already.
Yeah, there's something there already. I don't think the kids are gonna cross over to the distillery.
Yeah, no, we're across that street.
So, yeah. But,
And then to remove something else, at that point, since you're across the street from the main downtown streetscape, let's say, if you took the bricks out and just mounted,
I think the bricks need to be consistent, just so we can have brick.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's a small, tiny piece of brick.
Yeah, they're just like 8 by 8 boxes or something like that.
just looking at trimming some more costs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
If we did a green brick, it might be cheaper than a red brick.
Well, and Aaron, I guess I'm following that, is, so the section from Mill to 169 does not have the bricks.
Yeah, it does.
It does, so this would be Mill to 169,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it has that.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see,
Yeah.
I don't know if you get a lot of value out of having a bump out some. Just
I
maybe.
think it's about that.
Reduce it down to where your next level.
But we're looking at parking lines, just like the rest of the island.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'll help. Yeah. Keep people from parking right at the corner where you can see coming down. If we did fix it, tabletop type, elevated crosswalk.
Yeah, we did LA crosswalk, and that's, what do we got a 4-way stop there or not? That's,
Is that under 12, so that's just, yeah, it's not 40 there.
yeah, right now, just do it.
I don't know what your opinion is on that one sheet. Yeah.
Crosswalks are there, you know.
Yeah. I think it'd be fine if it's still full away. They got the roundabouts, not do curb work, do the asphalt, do the trail, add the lights,
Do the elevated.
do the elevated crosswalk. I think we got a winner. I think pretty, I like it. If the cost, if we get some cost savings. Went down all the concrete before I got
So given that, you guys got that information, what we can take a look at then and
Yes.
those revised estimates
We want to add the lights to the park trail.
there we go.
up to the park right?
I think, like I said, drive a little bit too.
Yeah.
And it's in there.
So I have lights up there, we're the bump outs, I have some, the elevated crosswalk. We're going to do the Jackson. We want to get phase back or together.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense if we could look at that and kind of estimate maybe what that would take.
Okay.
Or how much we can save there, because I think, you and I talked about that. And Linda, you might show some of the pictures of what we have.
Did you just look there earlier?
So this is, okay.
You may start at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'll start at the beginning.
Well, okay, so this is, okay, so that's actually coming from, so that's looking at the Apollo House. So this is walking back toward Heritage. There's one of the areas that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's the part.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's but
That is pretty
But
good.
the curbs are in pretty, I think, in pretty good shape along.
But Jack, what I call that an enhanced curve, right? That's not a sidewalk.
Yes.
That is a VODOT
Enhanced shoulder.
enhanced shoulder. So that is not a sidewalk, that is what VODOT put in, just like south of 92 on 169. That is not a sidewalk, it is a shoulder. What's a highway?
So then as you get closer to the park there, it's the back of there.
They catch leaves just fine.
I
Street
think
sweeper.
that would be the only thing is making sure we got the appropriate stormwater.
I think we got street sweeper that pick those up.
So, yeah.
So kind of going back. Going back to the lights, the other entrance to the new playground,
Yeah.
I know the trail will pick up there. Is there money for a light for the trail, or should we
Is that-
drop in a light at?
Is that in our entrance?
It want to be part of those amenities?
What are those lights around us?
they're expensive. You remember, they're like,
Asphalt's expensive. But
60 lights down here.
No, I think one of the things is we talked
I think
through
it's all right.
those what amenities we'd like to see where, and I think we could look at placement of some of the lighting that we're talking closer to the park area. Those are some of the things that we want to work with CFS on where those amenities might be able to go. We've talked about almost like okay, here are some of the amenities we've looked at. Here's the cost for those amenities, here's what we think we have, where does it make sense for some of these to go? We get that public input, and then we make final decisions.
on the new bridge, they stubbed it out for lighting too.
Yes,
So there's,
I believe they did, didn't they?
yeah, there's like a spot.
Yeah.
the lights, when you factor in all the conduit and wiring and divide it up, it's roughly about 10 grand.
If we still do the light hangers and banner hangers,
If you do all of them
and do
in,
the same height and all, yeah.
you would say that if you got rid of the lights.
And get rid of the outlet, we don't need the 110 outlet in every single one of them.
That's true,
Yeah.
that'd be a significant savings.
And we could actually potentially, do we want to take banners and flags all the way to Heritage, or do you just want the lighting? Start phasing it down. I mean,
I think
there's,
removing the 110 outlets is probably the biggest thing for the buck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Other ones are just add-on brackets.
Yeah, we can get those anytime.
Yeah.
If we're doing bricks down all the way to the Heritage entrance, we need to keep the whole package with the tech out.
so there's, yeah.
Yeah, I think the areas to keep that, and then house and face.
We can put something into that, it'll be a light at the entrance of the parking lot.
Yeah.
If it's either us or KCP&L or whatever, it's
And actually, I mean, we may need to think about the outlets, does it stop at Smith, or do we need them down commercial?
I don't know if they need it in front of the solid house.
That's what I'm wondering, I mean, you could stop it at commercial, so you wouldn't have to do the conduit to any of those.
The extra conduit.
Yeah, they need to be lit, but yeah.
I mean, it reduced our contract by quite a bit.
Funny how that's
It's all better, it's better.
Yes.
Yes, gas line, we get a gas.
Then we have to hire somebody to light them.
John, really likes to walk up stairs.
So I think we've got good direction, so what, and what we bring to this person, all that down, and then we can come back to the board and see where that takes us.
Yeah, you can talk about this.
And that then will also have year-end information, and we'll be a little further in some information, if we do have to, look at a shortfall there. Thank you very much.
Said that, anything else on?
Here's a hard copy.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll move on to discussion of downtown merchant use of sidewalk guidelines.
Okay, when we developed the use guidelines, we indicated that after kind of a full summer season utilization, we would kind of circle back and look at, see if there were any changes or anything that needed to be updated. The memo that you have in your packet really outlines, we have several different uses and permits, sidewalk cafes, sidewalk sales, sidewalk sign leasing, and included in the memo also is the number of permits or uses we have on each of those. So with the sidewalk cafes, we currently have 2 sidewalk cafe permits in areas utilized, one in front of delis and one in front of shops. Sidewalk sales, we've had a couple of different times that people have come in to inquire about a sidewalk sale, and determined, given the regulations and those uses, they would rather not do that. So did not apply and didn't take advantage of that. Sidewalk sign leasing, we do have signs on hand. Actually, I think we have our extra stock back here behind Alderman Herber. We have 10 signs currently. Currently, we have 4 permit holders for our planning department information. I don't know, I would defer comment to those businesses here. I think there have been some questions or concerns about the size of the sign, the appearance of the sign, those sort of things. I think that would be one area that we might want to take a look at.
I'll quote myself when I think of the first attempt in the morning.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, and one of the things to think about is, do we continue with where we are? Do we look at something that we look at this being a Project Main Street program as we look through that? We could defer to businesses putting something out and staff enforce. That gets a little more nebulous, but we'll take the lead from the board. One thing I did want to note though, compliance and enforcement, as Kayla was on that when she's seen things that are not in compliance with the guidelines, everyone downtown has been great to respond and react. I know there are some concerns or questions about things, so from our perspective, I think it's gone well. Probably some tweaking with regard to the signs. Had reached out and let the businesses know that we'd be discussing this evening, and I don't know if they have comments or not, so. Leave it to the board.
Comments from the board?
I mean, you've already referenced the signs are way too bulky and heavy, so that is something we'll need to address. And I know I've been approached about allowing them to put a banner or something in a post next to their door instead of out on the sidewalk saying that they are okay. So I don't know if that would be something we want to discuss later. Changing. And that may be part of, like you said, the Main Street process when we go through that. My only thing.
Melissa, when you think that's something from their building or from the?
Yeah, flag holders that you put on the side of your house. Because I know there's several, I think, that have that already on the side of the building. And just being able to put a banner out there that says open.
So we got several of our business owners here, what are your thoughts, we're a summer in, what do we need to look at changing? I know we highlighted some things here, but.
I think I agree, the signs are too big, which I think it was just a lesson learned, because we wanted them big so that you could see them, but when they're big, they're really heavy. They're hard to move around.
We still run into the same problem when we're on the south side of Main with the cars parked up and the outdoor cafe fencing and all that, being able to actually see it, unless you're walking on the sidewalk, you don't really see it. So it's different than what Bridge Street has to deal with. I don't find that it's too heavy. It's a little awkward to get around, especially with auto spring doors and stuff like that. So it's like you said, it's a lesson learned. And it's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. The flagpole. I know the event space has a flagpole holder, and I put a flag, a Chops barbecue flag out there once or twice. You just have to be careful because of the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather is, sometimes you don't really realize it's really windy outside and something decides to take flight.
If you put a flag on the wall, you gotta watch out for any case.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, you still run into, is it going to be seen
right.
like you want it to be seen?
But the only way to do that is go higher.
Right, and we have an overhang over Chops and the event space that would impede that, because it comes out 3 or 4 feet.
I don't know, when you're wearing flag out, I see it.
Well, the feather flag,
The
yeah.
standing feather one is probably what I feel works the best for us. It's
And we
not,
were able to put it inside our seating place, and it moves just a little bit. Now, most days it actually is completely the opposite direction we want it to be, because the wind blows down Main Street east to west, and the flag points east to west, and it doesn't do anything. It's those holidays that it lays there, and it can be seen by the east-west traffic exactly what we need. So,
sometimes just a little movement, I feel, grabs attention. Even if I can't breathe it.
and I've got a flag I'll put out. I brought it back from home. I took it down during a storm, and we happened to be in the van in the house for months. So now I've got it. I'll put it out just so people can start, see if they notice it on the board and things like that, instead of it'd be up higher, a little more obvious. It's just a Chops barbecue flag. It's nothing more than that.
I don't mind the weight of those, because the wind doesn't blow them over. Otherwise you end up, like the dinky mill one I have right now, I hear it banging off the concrete all the time if the wind kicks up and blows it over. I will say, I don't hate the idea of the flag hanging off of the building, but from my experience, my neighboring shop to the south of me, a couple owners ago, they had one that was extremely long, and it almost blocked to where you couldn't see past it, and it blocked their stores. So just maybe I don't need to say size regulation, but maybe a suggested size of the flag would be helpful.
I think we made a good first attempt, and that's what the first season, I kind of like the idea of handing it off to the Main Street group. You know, there's been a little bit of, the board's kind of spoken to give a little bit of guidance on what we want and what we don't want, and letting them kind of carry forth a recommendation. Is that something that can be done before next spring?
I think so.
Yeah, the next formal meeting of that group is in February, but it's really an informational meeting to the public to understand what Missouri Main Street Program is. That has not been any discussion or anything that we would be doing internally, and I think they would encourage any of those discussions. So I think it's absolutely something that we can take a look at in that group. through. Nikki, is that?
I think it'd be good to let, business owners have a very active role in tracking what this looks like after summer.
And I will, in the regular meeting, I plan to have a bit of an update, but staff was very pleased with the turnout at the Main Street organizing meeting. Many of the people here, but a few additional folks were present as well. And I think there's a good energy, I think maybe coming off the strategic planning into Main Street and start thinking about the comp plan. We've got a lot of things really helping us move forward and plan what we need to go, where we need to go. So, I think that could be one of the first things to try to tackle.
And I kind of feel the same way about the storage of tables and chairs, that can probably go to that group as well, and the recommendation come forward. And if that's an issue that's been raised several times.
That has been an issue that has been raised several times by a resident. I know we've had conversations with business owners like a day like today. We're in November, but it was a beautiful day. There's, an ability to be able to take advantage of those days and offer that for customers. I think that's something to be able to balance and look at. And so maybe it is, perhaps what we do is turn this information over to the Main Street group. Feeling good with the way we are, kind of like that check of where we need to move, and we have had that concern, and is there a way we can address that? Okay. Awesome. Well, we'll put Main Street on that then.
While we're all together, any other thoughts, anything else we should take a look at?
I'm just curious as to what his issue was, or what the complaint was. I just heard there was an issue about the tables. We didn't hear what the issue was.
I am not willing to venture a guess and let that individual speak on their own behalf.
Okay. Dan's gonna tell me.
Thank you. Anything else on that topic? Now we'll move on to number 4, discussion of 2018 International Building Code process and status.
And I'll look to Jack to provide some information. You have a pretty comprehensive memo in your packet that outlines our building code review. The biggest thing here that I want us to talk about, the International Building Code review process. International Building Codes are what we use to guide our inspection process. We are currently operating under the 2012 codes. They are updated periodically. The most recent codes were the 2018 codes, and I think staff obviously wants to recommend moving forward and review of that, but we also, I think it makes some sense in stepping back a little bit and making sure we understand what's included in that code. The cities of Kansas City and Overland Park in particular do pretty comprehensive review, and they have staff to review that, and we have typically a number of people. There's kind of everybody in the nursery kind of sits and waits until they know when those larger communities have completed their review. Then we tailor it toward our personal requests. Jack has outlined a timeline in here for kind of what we think could happen based on that review, but I'll leave it to Jack to answer any questions that you all might have generally about the code, the process, the timeline.
Anything specific, otherwise, we'll leave it.
I don't have anything specific, I just appreciate the detail you shared here and explaining the background and history and how you come to the decisions you do present to us of going forward to what Smithville's going to do. So I thank you for the information you did furnish us.
It is not the sexiest of topics, right?
No, it is not.
And it is a tedious topic, and that's why we really have left it to the other communities. As we find out what they're doing, we'd like to bring some stuff back, but there's a lot in it.
Timeline is good.
I think the most critical element is we have to understand the changes so that we attempt to explain them to you and the other citizens and builders, what those changes are going to look like. And it's a very thick book, and there are 6 of them, so
And I think the other thing too is, that timeline is very detailed as well, kind of outlines the process right now, and part of that is dependent upon the completion of that review by those other communities as well. So our plan is to keep you updated as to where we are and go through that process.
It looks like we're a year ahead of the adoption the last time, right? Something like that.
To the extent that the 18s came out later than the 12s, we're doing okay. The only communities that have adopted it had their inspections early enough that they had to adopt it or they would lose certification. And we're good till 2021.
The ISO ratings that you mentioned here with the prospect of the fire department looking at that issue of staff for Paradise, my understanding is that given where Paradise is at, it's not going to affect our ISO ratings necessarily, is it?
No, it would impact Harbor Lakes substantially. The northern portion of the community, we're pretty good from our location for everything to the south and almost up to there. That's one of the subdivisions that gets hit hardest because they're farthest away. The other thing that they're doing in addition to that is they're going to the IFC, the 2018 IFC. They're in the review process of that. Because there are only 6 fire department.
And I think that's an important thing to remember too, is that ISO is a lot of ratings.
Yes.
Not just the building code, not just location of stations, staffing, condition of fire hydrants, which is something that we work with the fire department on, as well as fire district on as well. So there are a number of things that come into play in that.
And I would comment on the ISO, in talking with my insurance agent, I understand that that's by zip code now, a lot of that, instead of certain areas of how close you are to a fire station. That is by zip code, which I found interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that they really have a lot of easier way to come in on that.
And ISO is working with GPS and GIS systems to try to hone that even further. Because, for example, our zip code goes halfway to Platte City, halfway to Kearney, and the standards are substantially different throughout. So they're trying to narrow that pool by census tract. That will help them substantially.
Well, luckily when I talked to my insurance agent about ISO, just because we're at a time crest right there, it might start to some benefit, and he was saying as long as, at least with our insurance company, if it's within city limits, it's just going to be the standard of ISO 5 that the whole city's at. They won't go to try and hone it in any finer than that, even if they're extra staff. Because honestly, that is for us, Trimble is even closer than any of the simple ones.
This is true.
Anything else? Not on our motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.